That's good.
just like that.
Welcome to the Let's Talk with Paula show, where we talk about interesting topics. And I have two of my co-hosts that's been around for a long time, and one of them even helped me with Skype when people were sitting at home. And so, you know, they're here tonight. You know how they are. They're a household name, because one of them even shows his shows in his office, in the outside in the waiting room.
I remember that, Paula.
That's right. Okay. So I know you subscribe to the other channel, right?
Yeah.
That we go to. So anyway, let them introduce themselves. Go ahead, sir.
Paula, thank you for having me back. My name is Ross Levin. I'm the Executive Director of Root to Mankind. We are a nonprofit located here in Prince George's County, where we advocate for homeowners, and we also help them with foreclosure prevention. We do financial empowerment. We do financial literacy, and we also are starting some new programs with generational wealth.
Okay. Yeah, that's your favorite topic.
Good evening.
Good evening.
And thank you for having me back here on your show. Very happy to be back here with you and your audience. My name is Donald Bell. I'm an attorney here in Maryland. I'm here in Prince George's County, and I am so happy to be here to talk to you about like what's going on here in Prince George's County. And the areas of practice that I have are I do consumer bankruptcy, foreclosure defense. So those are my primary areas of practice.
And it's always a joy to have you guys come on. When y'all don't come in, and when it takes long periods before y'all come back, then, you know, we miss stuff and we get close to some deadlines, okay? Like you were telling us earlier about the property tax thing, because we're kind of close on that. I know people that sit down and watch the property tax, they wait for property tax sales so they can go out and buy people's houses, okay?
Yes.
Because it's a list that usually comes out, I think, around August and September, for those people that had the opportunity to pay their property tax but did not pay them. Well, then they put it in the newspaper. I know the Washington Post used to post it every year, and I know some people that have acquired property because they don't have to pay the full amount. They have to pay just what the taxes are that's owed on the property.
That's
now
correct.
you just imagine that you go out here and find, let's say, I'm making this up, okay? You find a $450,000 house and they only had $5,000 worth of taxes that they didn't pay. I'm making those figures up. I'm not saying they're true.
They're very close though.
Okay, and you can go and buy that house for $5,000. Okay, now the homeowner has an opportunity to get that $5,000 together and pay it before
plus penalties.
Plus penalties and interest,
which is about 20%.
Okay, the homeowner we talk about now, if they want to keep that property, but if they can't come up with that lump sum of money, because they got to come with that lump sum of money now, then it goes on the property tax sale bill, right? And then that's when my good old friend that we talk about all the time, the sheriff can serve a warrant. Is that what his job? He can serve a warrant until you got to go?
Well, yeah, there's a process where they have to foreclose on the purchaser has to foreclose on the right of redemption, and you know they have to get a court order stating that the homeowner can no longer pay that tax bill anymore. And then once that happens, title can be transferred from the homeowner to the purchaser, the person who paid the property tax bill. And then they can own the property, and then they can go and request that the sheriff do it an eviction or writ. I've actually had this happen to clients, and the sheriff will come out, you know, at the appropriate time. The sheriff's also come out at the appropriate time, and they will do the eviction, because the homeowner no longer owns the property and no longer has a right to be there.
Right. And so then after that process is done, that's why it takes until about August or September, I think it usually runs, the newspaper runs all the property that's available for whatever state that is that time for it to come up if you wanted to buy that property. And you also get an opportunity to go look at the property after that, after it's gone through the process. Or do you just go to the auction? Because it's an auction.
Well, the auctions are done online for the most part.
Oh, they say it used to be done in person.
Yeah, they used to be done in person, but they're done online. And here in Prince George's County, I think Prince George's County residents have first right.
Oh, okay.
So my understanding is like residents of Prince George's County, you know, the list comes out and then they get to bid before anyone else.
Oh, okay.
But a lot of the the purchasers are institutional companies. We've dealt with a company out of Chicago. that buys up a lot of properties via tax sale throughout the country, because it's a very lucrative business.
I'm quite sure it is.
You know, I mean, it's very difficult to find an investment that you're going to get a 20% return on your money,
Well,
at the very least.
But then, so then how are these investment companies coming into Maryland if people in PG County have first rights?
Because the people in Prince George's County may not bid. So just because they have the right to, they may not bid. Then they
or
open
they don't
it
know
up.
about it.
Well, then they open it back up. Well, it's advertised in the newspaper and things of that nature. So the county does advertise it.
Okay.
And, you know, it's on the county's website and things of that nature. But, you know, once that period of time where Prince George's County residents have the right to bid, if they don't
They don't take
get enough
advantage
bids,
of it.
yeah, then they open it up to everyone else.
And then these people can come in and swoop down and buy
Yeah, so there are
large,
companies that
multiple
throughout the
properties.
country,
Okay.
and that's what they do, and they make a lot of money, because you got to think. So let's say if your property taxes are $5,000, and a company comes in and they got the winning bid and they bid that, okay, and then they pay that, and you want to pay them back, where they're going to get at least a 20% interest on their money, plus you got to pay the attorney's fees and things of that nature. So I mean, for the companies, even if they don't get the property, it's a win-win for them, because they're gonna get a 20% return on their money. And if they get the property, then they get, they may get a 10,000% return on their property,
Right.
on their investment.
So look,
So it can be a very lucrative business. And that's the reason why we're here, to let people know, because most of the people who are going to tax sale, they paid their properties off. I mean, that's the reason why the taxes aren't being paid, because a mortgage company isn't paying the taxes anymore. These people paid their properties off. So you worked, years and years and years to pay off your mortgage, and now you're going to lose your property to tax sale. And here in this county, I mean, that could be, somebody may have purchased that property for $100,000 30 years ago, but it may be worth $600,000 or $700,000 now.
Exactly. Exactly.
and so when you buy at the property tax auction, do you have to pay any other money other than what the property tax sale is, the amount of money that you're talking about?
Well, I mean, it's sort of a complicated. There's like a premium bid, a high bid, and things of that nature. So I mean,
So it is a bidding process,
it's a bidding process.
And you have to register online with the county.
and you have to
in
have that
order-
money available at
Well,
the
you have
time
to
of
have
sale.
money. You have to not only have money, but you have to register. It's a process, but it's important for your viewers to know that there is assistance out there for people that have delinquent property taxes. That's important. In Maryland, in Prince George's County here, the property tax sales, I believe, happened on May 13th. So when a property does go to tax sale, the homeowner does have a right of redemption in
Because
Maryland.
that doesn't mean you've lost your property. What that just means is that, either an individual or a company has come in and they bought a certificate. They paid your taxes and they bought a certificate, and that gives them the right to foreclose on your property if you don't reimburse them.
If you don't redeem them.
But they can go.
Or- I guess the legal term would be redeem.
Okay, but they can come and see somebody like you before it gets to the property tax process,
Well, they can come see me before it gets
the foreclosure.
to the property tax. They can come see me after the property tax,
Okay,
after the tax sale.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
And I mean, we can help them up until the point of where the judge signs off on the order stating that you no longer own the property.
Oh, okay.
And coincidentally, we actually had a case. We've had a couple of cases where the judge has signed off on the order saying you no longer own the property, and through the bankruptcy process, we were able to reverse that process.
Okay.
We actually had a case where we have a published opinion where the judge said that that it was such a gross miscarriage, and I'm paraphrasing here, miscarriage of justice, because a person had a property that was worth over $150,000, and literally the property taxes were less than $1,000.
About $800, I believe.
And they were going to lose that, they had lost that property.
For $800.
So we were able to get it reversed through the bankruptcy process. But generally, they got to come see me you know,
Before they get to that point.
before they get to that, because that was a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
So we don't want to have
Right.
to have that situation come up in every situation.
So that's why we try to remind you guys all the time that, you know, you don't have to go through foreclosure, and you don't have to go through bankruptcy, or you don't have to go through these companies that are going to charge you for debt reconciliation or whatever. When you can go and talk to one of these guys and their expertise, and they work together as well. They have two separate businesses, but sometimes they have to come together, you know, to help a person out. So that's why we come and make sure, and I don't get a dime. And, you know, the station, we're not publicizing the station, but we're trying to help people that live in the county to make sure that they still have that generational wealth, that they can keep it in their family, okay? And so we come here to give you information so that you can get help. And we look out for our veterans as well to make sure that they have the information that they need to, you know, so they don't have to go into bankruptcy, or you know, they don't have to go into foreclosure. And I'm gonna let them talk some more about this property tax, but I did want to mention that because I know that I know people that have benefit from buying tax property.
Yes.
Taxes. They wait for these notices to
Right.
come out, you know, so they can go get and acquire them, right?
Yeah.
So, and I know that it was coming close to time, so I'm glad that you brought that up to talk about today, Ross. But I did want you guys to be aware of that you don't have to get this far along. I know somebody personally when I was working at a particular company, and all she owed was like $800. They was behind because the house that she had, that it wasn't that much money. And she came to work and she talked to, you know, her boss and everybody. And so just before they got ready to put it in the tax people's hands, I don't know how that worked then, she got that money together and she was able to pay them the $800 before it went any further, you know. So she's still in that house today, you know.
That's
and that's been
amazing.
years. I know that house has to be paid off by now, you know. And she lived up in Silver Spring somewhere, you know, at the time. And I know that house has to be paid off by now, you know. But I'm just saying, I mean, I know people that have been on this end. I didn't know you guys at the time, but she must have gotten in touch with somebody that told her what to do. And it worked out for her. So that's what I'm saying with you guys. That's what I'm saying with you guys, that these guys can help you, you know, do what happened to this young lady before it even gets to that process,
Well,
before they even get to the property
There's also a
tax.
new program that the state of Maryland just came out with. So I think you want to talk about that.
Yes, it's for owner-occupied properties, and it is a property tax ombudsman. It's offered through the state, so it's not just a county program. And of course, there are income restrictions and things like that. But there is a program for homeowners that are delinquent, at risk of a property tax sale, not able to pay their property taxes. It's a program offered again through the state of Maryland. It's the Property Tax Ombudsman. You can call me. I'm happy to refer you to that office. My contact information is 301-899-6800. And my email address is help, H-E-L-P, at ROMKIND.org. We're happy to provide you with the contact information for that program. Paula.
I'm just going to say, man, you are really a businessman, because now you got a phone number that says help. I mean, yeah.
An email.
An email that says
It's
help.
an email address.
You go, guy. Because do we have that in our credits? Because I don't know if we got help in our credits. So we have to
I
make
don't
sure
know,
we get.
but you can update. You're more than happy to update that.
We need
Paula.
to get that updated.
But you know, with these tax sales, let's get back to that, because I know we don't have very much time with with your viewers. Is that there are credits a homeowner can get. So, and it's important, the tax bills come out annually every year, okay? And it's important that in the state of Maryland, your viewers can get certain tax credits. Namely, in Maryland, there's one called a homestead tax credit. A homestead tax credit is is income based. So if someone makes below a certain amount of money, say, for example, I believe the threshold is $60,000. If they make less than $60,000 household income, they may be eligible for that program. And your viewers can contact me again, help@romkind.org, or they can call me at 301-899-6800, and we're happy to assist them to go ahead and show them where to apply for the program. And there's also what's called a homestead tax credit through the state of Maryland. A homestead tax credit, what that does is that, as you know, and I'm sure your viewers may or not know, that property taxes increase on an annual basis, and that's based upon what the property is assessed for, not what the property sells for, but what the county assessor comes out and assesses the property. And it's a phased-in assessment every 3 years. So if the assessment, the value of the property goes up by more than 10%, there's a certain credit, namely called the homestead tax credit, where where the homeowner, your viewers should know, will be protected. They'll be able to get a credit on their property taxes, and they only have to apply for that one time. And for the homeowner's tax credit, one needs to apply for that annually. And they can apply online, or it can be done through the mail. And also, there's an additional benefit for people that have owned their home for, I believe it's a period of 40 years, and who are above the age of either 65 or 70, where they can apply for that credit retroactive. So they can apply for that credit and get the homeowner's tax credit for the prior 3 years. So in other words, it's 2024. They could go ahead and they could retroactively get that credit back for 3 years prior.
But let me ask you a question. So if they do that, though, then does their mortgage go back to a higher price if they take the credit in advance? Because if they still have a mortgage, because you got people that don't have a mortgage with the property tax situation, but the people that have property and they still paying mortgages with the home tax credit that you're talking about. If let's say for instance that they have the credit, so the credit has their mortgage bill, maybe I'm gonna throw a number out there, okay, $75 less a month. Now, if they go back and they get a credit for those 3 years you're talking about, does that then go back and make that $75 times 3 go back to their original bill times 3?
So I think what you're asking, Paula, is with the retroactive tax credit, if someone qualifies for that specific program, the way that it would work is that the county then would reimburse the homeowner. The credit would go directly to the homeowner for the prior years. For the current existing year, what they would be, the mortgage company is required to do an annual escrow analysis every year, so that if it turns out that, in your example, $75 a month, their mortgage payment then would be reduced by $75 a month, because the escrow analysis, the property taxes in that example, the $75 a month would be reduced, so their monthly payment would be $75 less a month. But the retroactive ones would be those $75 a month would go directly to the homeowner, not directly to the mortgage company.
But will the mortgage company come back now, since they had to give that credit up? Would the mortgage company then go back and increase the person's mortgage? I'm trying to see I'm trying to make sure that if
they wouldn't increase it, they would decrease it.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about you got a decrease. You got your money.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that's through this program. Okay, which is run by the state.
Okay.
Right. Now I'm talking about the lender. Okay. The lender had to give that money back.
No, the lender's not giving you money back.
The state's giving you the money
county.
back.
Yeah, the state is giving the money
back. So then the mortgage company cannot come back and then come back and add that $75 back onto your mortgage bill again?
No, they
Okay,
cannot.
I'm just trying to make sure. They can't come back and do that.
No.
Okay, all right. I'm just trying.
Because the money was paid out of your escrow money. It wasn't the mortgage company's money. Now, it would be a very different story. Let's say if you were behind on your mortgage and the mortgage company had advanced you the money.
the $75
Yeah,
a month,
had
or
advanced you
2
the
months
money.
or 3 months.
And then the county comes back and they give you a refund, then that may be a very different analysis. I don't know the answer to that question.
Okay.
But I would think the mortgage company may be able to come back and say, hey, you,
I did this.
I advanced you that money. You didn't
Right.
pay this money.
Right,
Okay?
right,
And now now the county sent you a check,
right.
but that's actually my money.
Okay.
We want that money back.
Yeah, but
so
my,
I think,
my
but-
mortgage company is different because I got $45 from the mortgage company, but they did the escrow analysis.
But that was your money. That was money that you had paid in escrow.
Okay.
So every month when you make your payment, then the mortgage company takes your escrow and they set it aside in an account.
Okay.
And then, like when your taxes are due, they pay your taxes. When your insurance is due, they pay your insurance. So what happened was when they did their analysis, they saw that your property taxes were lower.
Because of the homestead
Yeah.
tax credit.
Because of the
saying
homestead.
And they
Right.
had that money sitting there. And what federal law says, if that money is sitting there, they got to send it to you. They can't keep it.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, and that was through the homestead. And then I had to make sure that I let them know. That's the other thing that I want to say. That you need to make sure, even if once the people in the state say that they've given you this homestead, they will send you a letter and say that you are approved for homestead tax credit. Once you get that letter, don't just put it aside. You need to make a copy of it and send it to your mortgage company. Now, I know that y'all said that they're supposed to get notified as well, but there are some mortgage companies, if they know, older people, you know what I mean, that they don't, if you don't know what to do.
I understand.
So that's why I want to make sure that your mortgage company might be doing what they're supposed to do. But just in case, if you apply for homestead, just to be on the safe side, I'm saying to you to make a copy and send it to your mortgage company, so that your mortgage company, now they can't say to you, we never got that information, okay? So you're covering your own behind, okay? So that when it comes time for the escrow analysis, then you know that it's on file. So everybody should have a plus win on that. That's the only thing that I'm trying to get across.
Okay.
Because sometimes we don't know, and we don't. One time they used to have a program out a long time ago in the district where they would let homeowners, if they went through this particular program, that the people in DC, if you were trying to purchase a house, they would actually help you get the house, and then you would get a credit and you didn't have to pay a down payment. But you had to go through this program. I don't think they have it anymore, but that's how a lot of homeowners became homeowners
Prince
in
George's
DC.
County has a similar program.
Does
correct?
it?
Not with property taxes. They have
No, I'm
a-
not talking about property tax. I'm
Well,
talking
we're
about
buying a
you have to
property.
go through a program.
Yes, they have a program.
that you
Prince
go
George's
through. You have to
County.
go through homeownership program.
Yes.
So that they can tell you how to keep your home because they're
And they
not
give
trying
you a
to.
grant.
And they give
And
you
they
a
give you
grant.
a
Yeah, so Prince
grant.
George's County has a program. like
Oh, they do?
Yes, for
Yes.
first-time home buyers.
That's a
Oh, that's what
well,
that's
it's
called?
first
Okay.
time. It actually is. I'm glad you brought that up. It's actually first-time home buyers and second-time home buyers, and it's actually called the Pathway to Purchase.
Okay.
And that's offered. That's a special
So you have to
program,
go through counseling,
counseling.
You have to go to
And
the
it's
classes
offered
that they
budget
have.
counseling.
Yep.
Yeah, things of that nature.
You have to go through a whole group of sessions.
right.
That you have to go to all of them for
and
you
then,
to qualify.
and then you get a grant
And yeah, okay, yes,
and to help you with your down payment.
yes.
And I think they put a lien on the property for so many years. And
I
you have
don't
to keep
remember
the
that.
property for so many years.
Okay, yes.
And if you keep the property for so many years, then I think they forgive it.
The program,
Yeah, forgiveness, yes.
depending upon the
Yes,
program.
yes.
But that program is offered through Prince George's County.
I didn't know that because
and it's
I know
the Pathway.
years ago that they had it in DC, and a whole lot of people were able
Right.
to get home by going through that
Right.
program.
Yeah,
but you
it's
say
a
it.
great
Please tell my
program.
people out there.
Yes, it's called the Pathway to Purchase. It's a program offered through Prince George's County, and it's a great program for home buyers.
First-time home buyers,
First-time
or
home
second-time home.
or second-time home buyers. And if your viewers, of course, want more information about it, they can reach me. Of course, Paula, I'm sure you know my email address by now, right?
You go right ahead.
Help, HELP, at ROMKIND.org, or they can call us at 301 899-6800.
Please call him. Don't call me about that because I don't know anything. I just know that the program exists.
That's it. So, I mean, that's what you do, okay? You help them on the other end.
Yeah.
But would you please just tell them for bankruptcy, foreclosure, would you please give them your phone number and your email address right quick?
Sure. My phone number is 301-614-0535 or 0536. You can call either number 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you call it right now, somebody will pick up the phone. We have a 24-hour answering service. So when my staff is not there, like in the evening times, or if they're too busy, then someone always answers the phone, hopefully. They generally answer the phone.
Okay.
Okay. But sometimes there's so many phone calls coming in.
But they can leave a message, though.
Yeah, sometimes there's so many phone calls that
back.
come in, it goes, you know.
But they will pick up the message and we'll give it to you.
Yes.
You will get the message.
The call service sends the message directly to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want you to say that, okay?
Yeah, the call service sends the message.
Okay. And you don't have we need to talk to him because this man got I take my hat off to you about your
Yeah, I'm old school with the email address. Maybe I need to upgrade that.
You need to do the help thing.
Yeah,
okay?
I need to try that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Paula.
I like that. Okay, so the pathway, I forgot all about that program. Okay, so I'm
Pathway
glad that
to
we
Purchase.
talked about it. And I didn't realize that Maryland had it. Because I
It's
would
a
have
program for
gone through
Prince
that
George's
program
County.
when I came out here and bought a house. Okay.
And the state of Maryland, actually, Paula, has another program offered. And this other program is offered through the Maryland Department of Housing. And it's a special program offered. This one is for first-time home buyers where they'll give them a grant up to 3%. Right, up to 3% for their closing costs. And there are other programs available for your viewers to know, whether they're first-time home buyers or second-time home buyers. There's all sorts of different programs available, grants and free money and
Okay,
things
we're gonna
like
You got to
that.
work for it.
You got to call, yeah.
You have to work for it.
Yes.
You have to go through the classes.
You got to go. You got to go
You
to
know,
the class. All
and-
of them.
And the classes are designed to help you
Keep your home.
keep your home.
For that generational
To buy the
wealth.
home and keep
That's
the
right.
home.
For that generational
Because the
wealth.
community is better when people own properties.
Absolutely.
I mean, the state is better, the county is better, the
Yes.
community is better when people
Yes.
own properties.
Yes.
And, everybody prospers when people own properties.
And I do want to say this before we go, that veterans do not have to pay property taxes if they are 100% disability.
Disabled.
Disabled.
they have to apply for it.
Only disabled veterans.
100% disabled
100%,
Right,
100% disabled veterans do
In
not
the
have
state
to
of
pay.
Maryland.
In the state of Maryland.
But you got to apply for it.
But you have to apply for it. It doesn't automatically come to
Excuse
you,
me.
okay? So I just wanted to mention that because it was mentioned on the other show.
Yes,
For our
yes.
veterans, just so that they know
Right.
that. So, it's so much information that's why when y'all are gone for a long period of time, it's information that is out
Right.
there and we can't
And,
get to all of it
well,
through 2 shows.
One last thing, Paula, for the home buyers, 100% disabled veterans that are getting that credit for property taxes for zero, they can go ahead and they can qualify for a higher amount, because when they buy the home, right, they're not going to have to qualify for that big $600 tax payment. That's not going to be factored in. So it's great for veterans.
So you need to get in contact with these guys. The information's in my credits and they've given you your information. Just go back and rewind. Good night, and we want to say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Yeah.